I just want to talk to you about why does it hurt so bad? And this is whatever you're going through. If it's infidelity, if it's death, if it's illness, if whatever it is that you're experiencing that's hurting, that you're experiencing hurt right now. I just want you to just hopefully bring some peace to you, hopefully give you some clarity, hopefully help you to move forward. But the truth is, no matter what I say, I cannot answer the question about why it hurts so bad. I just know it does. And I know that we probably will never know why it hurts so bad, why we go through these things, why these things really happen. But I do know that these things are meant to teach us, and we can use them as stepping stones. We can use these as opportunities. We can look to see what we learned going through this thing, and we can look at how can I share my story to help somebody else. How can I share what I've learned, the lessons that I've learned, so that maybe the next person, it doesn't hurt as bad, it doesn't sting as bad, they don't grieve as long. If I can share my story, I can tell them what has happened to me. So the first one is, the truth is, we will never know. We will never know why these things come about and why they hurt so long and why they hurt so bad. But like I mentioned before, I believe is meant to teach us. No matter what you're going through, no matter how bad it hurts, I know that whatever you're going through or whatever you've been through is meant to teach you something. And I do believe that it is wrong or selfish to keep it in, to not share it with somebody else, to not share what you've learned, share your journey, share what you did each day to get through it. I believe it's selfish to do that, because I believe that what happens to us is to help somebody else to get through the experience. And so if we don't share, then we allow somebody else to suffer longer than they should have. I think that these things happen to us so that we can draw on the strength that God has given us. I believe that we are stronger than we think that we are. We're way more capable of handling things than we think that we are. We just have gotten into the habit of giving up. We've gotten in the habit of hiding. We've gotten in the habit of just, not dealing with it, ignoring it. We're perfect. We can do that very well, right? But we have to get into the habit of drawing on our strength, moving forward, just every single day, just taking another step. And if it has to be minute by minute, then you learn to do that, to get through it minute by minute. But you just know that you're strong. It's the God in you that's strong, that will help you get through all these things that life will throw at us. A lot of things that we could not even fathom, we couldn't prepare for. We couldn't have known, just 3 months before that this thing was going to happen. But we have to learn to draw on our strength. We have to stop running and stop complaining and stop ignoring things that are happening in front of us. We have to learn how to deal with them. And so we're all going to do it differently. But I do know that we can get through these things that we're going through. We can talk about these things that we're going through. I believe in journaling, these things that we go through, because when we write things down, things look different. We can start to look at, okay, this is the situation. What can I do about it? What can I do? How can I make things better? What changes do I need to make? And so we can get comfortable with blaming other people, saying that it's other people's fault. But the reality is we have our own part to play, whatever that looks like. And so when we accept responsibility and we start to look at, what actions can I take? What do I need to do? What changes do I need to make in myself? And stop blaming other people, because when we do blame other people, we give them the power. And so we can't change it if we just constantly keep blaming other people. But when we take our power back and say, okay, this part of it is my responsibility, or this part of it I take responsibility for, or this is what I'm going to do to change myself, whether it's set boundaries or forgive or whatever it is, this is the part that you're going to do. And so we have to stop thinking that we're weak, thinking that we can't make it through, because people have been through worse things than we go through right now, and they've made it. They've, drawn the strength. They've been able to make it. One thing that I think about is a gentleman who has no arms, no legs, and he's able to live life, just a normal life. And I wouldn't say normal, but you know what I mean. He was able to continue to go on, keep moving forward. Things were completely out of his control. And so when you look at a situation like that, and I'm not trying to minimize your position, your condition. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to let you know that people go through worse things than we do, and they continue to persist. And that's what we have to get into the mindset of, is I'm stronger than I think I am. I can do more than I think I am. I think I can. You just keep moving forward. No matter what's happening in your life, you just keep moving forward. You just take one step at a time and you keep moving forward. Sometimes I think we go through these things so that we can reach out to others. We think that we are certain superior, perhaps, and sometimes things happen to us so that we have to be as vulnerable and share what we're going through to somebody else, with somebody else. Maybe we have to share what we're going through so that somebody else can help us. Maybe we go through something so that we can have somebody else know that they're not the only one. But we have to be thinking about, you cannot live in this world in isolation. We all do better with somebody else, and most of us do better with a lot of somebody else's. So we have to realize that we need community, we need support, we need encouragement, we need somebody who's always there. So we need to be able to reach out to other people. So I believe some of this stuff happens to us so we can reach out to other people. Maybe it's to help somebody else. Maybe it's for somebody else to help us. But we have to be able to reach out to other people and be vulnerable, and knowing that it doesn't just help. Sometimes we think we're doing something to help somebody else, and in reality, when we do something, we share something, we're helping ourselves to heal. Sometimes we go through these things so that we can have compassion on somebody else. So it's nothing like having something major happen to you, like an illness or a death. You watch somebody suffer and then they die. It's nothing like going through the experience, and then when somebody else goes through it, you can have compassion on them because you've been through the same thing. Maybe you witnessed it from afar, but you still understand the feelings. You still understand. You can have compassion on somebody else. So sometimes we go through things so that we can get off our high horse, and we can share with other people. We can sympathize with other people. We can have compassion because they're going through something that's hard. Maybe we haven't been through it, but we can still have compassion on somebody because we know that they're going through something hard. Sometimes the stuff we go through is to wake us up. Sometimes we live in oblivion. We're just going from day to day. Maybe it's on our high horse. Maybe it's not. But sometimes some things happen to us to wake us up. Maybe we need to change directions. Maybe we need to change the people that we're around. But sometimes these things happen to wake us up because we are living in a place that we shouldn't be in, right? That is completely crazy. And sometimes these things happen to wake us up, to change us. Some of these things happen to make us stronger, to push us to our destiny. And we don't realize that in order to get to your destiny, in order to be where God created you to be, you got to go through something. And so these things that you go through are lessons that you learn for the next step. They're not just lessons to share with other people, but they're lessons that you got to learn to go to the next step. It's to make you stronger and wiser if you're paying attention, right? But these things happen to us to push us to our destiny. So never underestimate the opportunity that comes when we're in pain, when we're going through something that's hard, something that we would rather not go through, right? But these things happen to push us to our destiny. Some things happen to us to make us pay attention. We're not paying attention. We are so busy on our cell phones, in social media, doing all these other things. Sometimes these things happen to us to make us pay attention. Like, okay, what happened? I thought our relationship was fine, and then this person walks off and divorces somebody. You start thinking, okay, what happened? Because typically if somebody walks off and wants a divorce from their spouse, something has been happening for a long time. So sometimes stuff happens for us or to us to make us pay attention. The next one is to make us to listen. Things happen to us to make us listen, to love more, to think more, to pray, to study ourselves, to love ourselves, and to trust ourselves. And I put these together because they go together, right? We're not listening to people when we should be listening. We are waiting for our chance to say something. We're not loving people, even though it could be our last time seeing people, even though most of us, all of us, right, want to be loved in some way, want to be loved. And so how can we want to be loved and not love other people? So these things happen to us because it makes us way more sensitive to listen to people when they're going through things, to love on people when they're going through things. to think and to pray. Sometimes we get away from God when things are going good, right? We don't think about in a second things can change in our life, in a second. And so this is an opportunity for us when we're going through things to pray, to study ourselves. Like, what is it that triggers me? What makes me act a certain way? What really gets to me? What really drives me? And so these things happen to us to make us listen, to love more, to think, to pray, to study ourselves, to trust ourselves. This is a hard one for me because I've had a hard time trusting myself, and I'm not sure why, because I believe that God lives in me, the Holy Spirit lives in me, and he's speaking to me, he's telling me things. And then, you doubt yourself. You doubt what he's telling you, even though he's the creator. He knows what's best for me. He's going to speak to me. And so sometimes we don't trust ourselves. We trust other people more than we trust ourselves. And so we've got to learn when things happen to us. Sometimes it's for us to learn how to trust ourselves. We already knew that something was off. We had all these flags, all these red flags, and we ignored them. But we have got to learn how to trust ourselves. Sometimes things happen to us to realize that it's not about us. Sometimes we are complaining, we're constantly complaining, we want things a certain way, we acting like spoiled brats, and sometimes things happen to us for somebody else to see, somebody that's around us, that loves us, that's with us every single day. Sometimes we go through something so they can see that, this, you need to change this, you need to do this. And so sometimes it's not about us. Sometimes it's about somebody else. So we got to be thinking about, sometimes things happen to us. It's not about us. It's for somebody else to get their life right. Sometimes things happen for us to know God, for us to really know God and to trust him. Sometimes we underestimate his power and what he can do. We think that it's about us and that we're doing these things in our own strength and our own power. And if we are, we're not doing a good job, right? We're overwhelmed, we're frustrated, things that we're weighed down. But we got to learn how to trust God and what he wants for us, what his will is for our lives. Sometimes things happen for us because and it happens to us for us to get control of our thoughts. Often we think like we let our thoughts run wild. We don't take our thoughts into captivity, and we have to make a conscious effort to be thinking about things that are positive, thinking about things that are good, expecting the best from people, speaking the best about people, speaking the best about ourselves. And too often we are so caught up in letting our thoughts just do whatever, just thinking whatever, thinking all kind of crazy thoughts. But we have to learn how to replace those thoughts with something positive. So I don't know why these things happen, why they hurt so bad, but I hope that this will give you some peace. I hope this will help you to think about things that happen to us in a different way. They are meant to teach us. They're not meant to hurt us. They're meant to teach us. Sometimes pain is the best teacher, right? And so just something to think about today.